Awesome. All right, so this is the Boulder Ballbusters, and we did the 2016 Spring Mount Everest Simulation. I am Amanda Vander. I was the leader of the simulation.
I'm Bruce Kreutzer. I was the marathoner.
I'm Sam Cossack. I was the physician.
I'm Zane D. I was the environmentalist.
And I'm Charlotte Tully, and I was the photographer.
So kind of like for overall interaction information, our team, I really feel like our team clicked right away, like in class. And one of the keys to our continual communication strength was gathering everyone's contact information on the first day. And then group text. That enabled us to help everyone stay up to date on our group requirements, even if one of us had to skip class. I really appreciated how open and flexible everyone was willing to be. We also used our meeting time really well. Each meeting we prepared for the next meeting, and different team members volunteered to take notes each time. And then I or Charlotte would send out those notes for the next meeting. So even if that preparation wasn't like necessary, we had to do it, I really think it helped our team stay on the same page and build a lot better unity. And I think that unity made overcoming all the unexpected obstacles a lot easier and showed itself in the ease of our simulation and like accomplishing required tasks, like divvying them out and actually getting them done. And I also think that we had really balanced participation. Like Zane, Bruce, and Charlotte all reserved rooms for different meetings. Bruce volunteered to handle the video recording, which is
It's gone not quite as well as I hoped.
not quite as well as we hoped, but it's a big, big responsibility. So we appreciate that. I'm volunteered to write and submit the report, and Charlotte, Bruce, and Sam have all taken a lot of notes, as well as helping people stay accountable. Do we want to go down?
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's start off with what went well.
Yeah. So what went well? So we had our first meeting. What do you guys think about our first meeting?
It went.
Yeah.
It went really well. It was. We all are. It went really well, I think. Other than the room, it was. We were all prepared and knew what we were gonna get done when we went into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say even before like our first like official meeting, like right when our group was put together, like we made it like I could just tell like within all these like with all my partners like we could just like I could just tell each one of them wanted to like get to know each person right away so that like this group would just be a success straight off the bat. And so even like in class, like we were just like already so compatible. And then the first meeting came around, and we only could know so much through the preview of what was gonna happen, but for our group, we tackled every point, like every like thing that you possibly could before like the actual simulation happened. So we were as prepared as you can be without knowing like exactly what's going to happen, which I thought was a huge success as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I also thought it worked well for our first meeting, how we all had our own priorities, and then we came together as a group and we decided what we wanted as a group.
Yeah.
And then how we went on the simulation page and figured out where things were, so we weren't going to be confused for the actual simulation. So that was a good communication.
I think that was actually like really crucial for a group as a whole. Like before we actually started the simulation work and meetings, we talked about how important it is to set aside your individual goals and then create overarching group goals or team goals. And I really think that we did that like outside of the simulation and in the simulation. Like we all had different things that came up. Like Zane rolled his ankle. Poor guy, like right before his birthday. He had work, I had some personal things, the bus just failed him.
There were lots of difficulties
Yeah.
that just came through the group, and that, of course, they weren't expected, but
Yeah,
that's life. But we all managed to
I agree.
figure it out together and work something out.
Yeah.
Especially regarding the first meeting, the fact that everything went so well, I thought it was kind of a critical moment because we all trusted each other.
yeah.
We hadn't had sort of a test yet, and that first meeting was sort of a test, and we sort of passed it with flying colors. Everyone was super accountable. Whereas, we thought we could trust each other, but that was the first time we were like, oh, we definitely can. Everyone is on the same page. We've all bought in, and we sort of came out of that meeting with really clear goals, and that put us in a really good position for our simulation.
Yeah, and those goals really helped us make smaller decisions in the simulation because we all knew what we all wanted as a team, and we were all willing to sacrifice something. so that the whole team could reach those goals.
So when it comes to all of these issues that we were talking about, a huge factor when it came to dealing with them was sort of communication systems, which foremost was our group text.
Yep.
I thought it was really helpful, but as Sam mentioned, it's not quite as good it's not as good as face-to-face.
There's never any substitute for face-to-face communication because it's easier to be more clear about what you're talking about. You can get your concepts and what you want to say across a lot better. And it's faster when it comes to little details instead of sending another text.
Yeah, it definitely made planning meetings a lot easier than face-to-face. And then just confirming that over text, like checking in before we get there and getting people to the right places and stuff.
That was a huge part though. We all checked in with each other before each meeting and almost didn't necessarily have to do with the meeting, maybe but it just had to do with some action item that needed to happen, like really anything that needed to happen and there needed to be some communication about it. No one really shied away from it and no one
Everyone stepped up to the plate and did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And we were actually comfortable holding each other accountable. Like Sam helped like be that person who was like totally brave enough to go out and be like, hey, is everyone actually doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Hey, do we have a room?
Yeah.
It would have been worse if at the end we got there and none of it had been done. It's
Yeah.
better to
yeah.
send
It's
those
true.
texts before.
To make sure things happen.
Yeah.
And like with the group texting, like the issues that were said with the rolled ankle and like the bus being late. Those are like problems that like the group can't handle like together. That's just kind of like personal issues. But like the way that we handled it, I feel like was amazing. Like I like informed the whole group, like guys, I rolled my ankle. Like the mobility's probably gonna be a little less, and they were honestly willing to come to my apartment and like do this meeting in like my bedroom while I like ice my foot like all day. Like that's just how like ready we were. But then when we got together, like a couple technical difficulties happened that we were able, again, like we said before, we were just ready to go. Like, one of the computers almost
Died.
literally just died, almost just died.
It did
And so we had,
resurrected it.
yeah, we didn't not only have like plan B, but like C, D, E, F, all the way down. Like we were ready. And then even today, right now, like we had a couple technical issues with the camera.
Take 3.
So in this exact situation, though, you bring it up. We're on take 3, and Sam here is missing a chunk of his class, so you can put time
sorry.
into this.
Yeah.
And
It's frowned upon.
but at the same time, in order to make this meeting happen, we all at different points said, "Hey,
I'm willing to do something for the
I can
benefit
miss
of the
It
this.
group.
was something we all needed to do.
Yeah, I can miss X, Y, or Z to make sure this meeting happens and is successful." And that's a huge part of it. The selflessness of this group is really impressive.
Yeah.
Want to do the simulation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Let's
Talk about that simulation.
Yeah, so we talked about the pyramid just a little bit, but like we definitely had that foundation of trust from the beginning, and then like it just got stronger as we were willing to keep each other accountable. And what went well with the simulation, I think we had overarching goals that made small decisions or big decisions a lot easier. And then we had really good group strength, so we were able to like trust each other, like when they made predictions, like Bruce making predictions about the weather and you giving like medical advice and like different group points that we wanted different people to be able to get. It made those decisions a lot easier to make.
Gotta say, I had help in my decisions. I think we all sort of relied on each other's information. And that really came from the transparency of everyone being honest about their roles and their goals and what just sort of the circumstances that the simulation had put each of us in.
Yeah.
We were, no, you don't.
You must have just do that. Let's see it.
We were all presented with different little bits of information at the beginning of each round, and we all made sure to share that information so the other group members were informed, and then we used that to help make our decisions.
And with those decisions, like there wasn't like something that one of us like kept to ourselves. Like everyone knew exactly what like any possible information there could be, and that's what like we like soared through like the first 5 days, and then like the last
Yeah.
day,
It clearly
Yikes.
worked.
and it was
It did
good. Like
work.
communication
Until we
works.
stopped communicating as well as
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, and then on the 6th day, like going to Summit, some of us given by the simulation had some like health issues that should have been addressed, but because we were going so smooth and we were just doing so well, and there was no information given, we just
Right.
kind of were like, let's just do it. We were doing great so far, and ended up having 2 rescues. So
Yeah.
if we did this differently, we for sure, I thought, would have all made the whole team would have made it, but.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
a leader, I mean, it was really important to me that as a team that we reached our overarching goals, and we didn't. And I think part of that would be because I wasn't confident enough to put my foot down on that last day and say, look, guys, I think we should really talk about it more because, everyone was really excited. We were doing so well, and everyone just wanted to move forward because, like, oh, we got this in the bag. We got
Yeah.
it. And I did feel like we might not have it in the bag, but I was like, you know what, it's okay. I can keep my opinions to myself, and so if I could change anything, it would just be being a stronger leader.
Yep. And that just sounds like it came down to each one of us of being responsible for going through the motions of just like,
Yeah.
like you were right. Like, if each one of us had been a little bit more careful and a little bit slower,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think we would have like completely succeeded our goals of the
Oh, yeah.
simulation.
Oh, yeah, I
Like
think so
we
too.
all had to make smaller sacrifices, like smaller points and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, without that sort of disconnect, I really think that we would have made it.
I agree.
And I think it's just partially demonstrated by how quickly we went through the first rounds.
Okay. Final thoughts, everybody?
Oh.
First off, lady?
Overall, I really loved working with y'all. I think our group got together really well and we communicated very efficiently. And just overall, like, climbing Mount Everest with y'all was very fun. We all had our own personal goals that we wanted to get through, but we were willing to sacrifice for the benefit of the entire group, which I thought worked well with y'all. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I worked with y'all. I mean, I would have changed some things about communication, but
Yeah.
it's tough,
Right.
so what can you do? But overall, glad.
For me, I just the trust and like the strength of this group was like so evident, so like pure. Like honestly, like you give us Mount Everest, scuba diving, anything, like any sort of task, and I felt our group would have just knocked it out. Like it's just so clear and evident that we all just wanted to like get our job done, and we're so good at communicating, and there's like little room for failure, if like any.
Yeah.
I felt that overall the entire group project went really well. We were all good at communicating. However, as with any group in any situation, there are always things that didn't go perfectly and could have gone better. We did communicate well, but we could have communicated better.
Yeah.
We could have been more in-depth about some of our discussions, and we could have thought better and took our time planning
Mm-hmm.
for the last round.
Right. I think you're right.
I agree. That last round is really, that's sort of our,
Wow.
that's a bit of hubris right there. Like, oh, we're so good. But honestly, in terms of the overall team's selflessness and commitment to the cause, we were all on the same page, and that's, in my mind, as much as you can ask of a team. There's always, like Sam said, there's always going to be mistakes, but if you've got a team that's selfless and committed,
Yep.
that's a beautiful thing. And it was, in my mind, it was very clear that that was working.
Yeah.
And, we made a mistake, but the way we moved through the simulation, it was clear that it was working, and it was because we bought in.
Yeah, I agree. Having 5 different people with like such different personalities, like all of us are so different. And being in college and like having a full schedule, like the fact that we were all able to like make it work to meet 3 times in 1 week and work together. I really appreciate everyone's participation and stepping up to the plate and keeping each other accountable. And if we really did have to do Everest, I would definitely choose this group to do it
Yes.
with. I would trust you guys for
We
sure.
made it up the pyramid.
We
Both
did.
pyramids.
We made it up both pyramids. So, yeah.
And
Go Boulder Ballbusters.
go Boulder Ballbusters, and I speak for the rest of the group when I say thank you, Amanda.
Yes, thanks.